What's up, guys? Great Squatch here. Now, I'm going to be talking about a topic that is news to me. I don't know if it's news to you. I don't know if Bungie knows that there is champions in normal strikes. Now, this might not sound like anything big, but normal strikes is the place where new players go and are directed to off the get, especially free-to-play players. Those players who don't have the want or drive to continue to play the game, or maybe are testing out the game and want to see what it's like, but then they get thrown into these, most of them are Defiant Battlegrounds or regular Battlegrounds, Psyops Battlegrounds that have champions. In my testing, it was the Heist Battlegrounds on the moon that had champions, which really is weird because I don't think that they're supposed to. Again, because new players will come to it and they'll be like, why is this dude not dying? Especially if you happen to get a strike with a bunch of new players. I definitely think that this needs fixing and looking at. And then, as I read into the Reddit thread, that people were talking about how Battlegrounds should not be in the Vanguard playlist in general. First off, people don't like doing them as Grandmasters. I think Bungie is learning that. That's why there's only one Battlegrounds this season. And two, most of them are pretty long. Now you might be like, well, that's a lame complaint, but like strikes are supposed to be the casual PvE experience. You're supposed to be able to hop in and hop out and not have to worry about like champions, having the right mods for champions, especially new players. I have no idea why this dude keeps spawning a barrier and healing himself to full, or an overload champion, or teleporting all over the place and one-shot killing them, because we gotta remember, if they're new players, they don't have access to mods yet, so they don't have resilience, so they're not going to be able to tank anything. They don't have recovery, so they're going to stay low and they're probably going to die, and it's going to be a miserable experience for them. I know of some people who joined strikes in progress because maybe somebody left or whatever the case may be, and they've been on a battlegrounds at the last boss for like 2 hours because either one, they didn't understand any of the mechanics of what's happening, or two, that there was just too many enemies. They couldn't move around, they couldn't do anything. Now I know one of the criticisms of strikes is that it's not challenging enough to make the player who plays a lot come back and play it, but that's where I think Bungie really needs to like think about this and add maybe like a heroic nightfall, or not a heroic nightfall, but a heroic strike playlist, so that there's a normal playlist that doesn't have to be so hard for new players, and a regular or a harder playlist for those that kind of want a mild challenge but something they can get through and do. But I don't think that Battlegrounds should be in the standard playlist, because especially the newer ones have a lot of enemies and they don't have the capabilities generally to clear those things. You might be like, well, they have a wrist runner. Not everything's shooting arc, and it's also an SMG, so it might not be the smoothest thing. And how long do you think that a player is going to be willing to put up with something that just seems to not want them to play? So really, there's only like 3 main points of this video. One is to address Bungie and be like, why is there champions in the strike playlist? Like, did you forget? Did you turn back on the modifiers for these strikes specific, or these battlegrounds specifically? I don't know what ones have champions, because I did like 10 to 12 of them, and I mean, I did get a lot of repeats because yeah, that's just how the strike playlist works. And the one that I did get champions on was the Europa Battlegrounds. I guess the Heist Europa Battlegrounds, there was definitely champions in there, and the EDZ Defiant Battlegrounds, there was definitely champions in that. So that's the first thing. They need to remove the champs from the strike playlist, because that's not user friendly, especially when the game does not teach you about champions really at all, nor do you have the abilities to deal with those champions until you're at a much higher guardian rank than rank 1 or rank 2 or rank 3 or rank 4. You don't even get access to mods till I think rank 5 or 6. So why is there champions in the standard strike playlist? 2, there needs to be a reevaluation of whether or not Battlegrounds should be in the strike playlist, because almost every one that I join, people leave, and I understand their sentiment. They don't want to. It's not that it's like terribly hard, but it's just that it takes quite a while. On average, you're probably on like what, 30-ish minutes maybe for a Battlegrounds, especially if you're not that experienced, or you're just trying to chill out, compared to the regular strikes that might take you 10 to 15 minutes. And 3, they should definitely bring heroic strikes from Destiny 1 back, where you can actually have a bunch of different strikes that you can go through at a slightly higher difficulty, and maybe it rewards more rep or engrams or something, so that, you know, you're not just stuck doing the same nightfall over and over and over and over and over and over again because you want a little bit of challenge, but you don't want to like go commit to a raid at this moment. Those are my 3 gripes. And again, Bungie, please remove the champions from strikes. I don't think they're supposed to be there because they're not in every Battlegrounds, but they are in a few Battlegrounds. champions, and they should definitely be removed. Think about the new players. And that's all I have for you guys today. I will see you guys later.